Hi, it's Elise here at Bowman Library, the whole new middle grade book spotlight. So this is it. This is our last week, our last new theme of our 2022 summer reading, Oceans of Possibilities. How crazy is that? We just started 8 weeks ago, and here we are already at our last one. So make sure you're tracking, you're adding your tickets to the virtual prize drawings, all that type of stuff. August 10th is the cutoff to get all of that done. So make sure that's coming up fast. You do what you need to in order to enter for those amazing prize drawings. But we have one more theme we're going to talk about this week. One more theme, one more badge, some more activities, all that type of stuff. Because this week we are all about possibilities of change. We are exploring both some fiction and some nonfiction. There's some memoirs mixed in, all that stuff, about books that can inspire us to either look at something differently or to do something about something going on in our community, or to even make us aware of stuff that maybe we didn't even know about. There's so much possibility here. I cannot wait to share these 6 ones with you, so let's get started. Our first one is Rising Water. So on June 23rd, 2018, 12 members of the Wild Boar soccer team, as well as their coach, decide they're going to explore a nearby cave after their practice in Thailand. What would happen next would be something that would capture the attention of the entire world for the next 18 days, as they quickly find themselves trapped in this cave when it becomes flooded during a monsoon rain storm. Now, this amazing story will take you through everything that happened over the course of that rescue effort, which was made in hopes of rescuing all 13 who were trapped in this cave. You will not be able to put this one down, even if you know what happens during this whole event. You will learn so much that you didn't know before, and one thing I love about this one is it really examines how people came from all over the world to help in this situation, and the technology that was used and also developed. It spurred change. This is again an example of how a potentially tragic event can make a difference. Nonstop, this is nonfiction, there's nonstop action. Highly recommend this one. This is Rising Water. Front Desk. So this is based on the author's childhood, Kelly Yang here, and we meet Mia, who is living in California in the early 1990s. Now, she's living with her parents. Just 2 years earlier, they immigrated to the United States from China. They really didn't speak English that well, but they had all these hopes and dreams. But life has not been nearly as easy as what they thought it was going to be. It's when her parents, though, are offered a job of managing a motel that it seems like their luck is starting to change. But as they start this job, they soon start to learn that the owner is a nasty individual. He's flat out racist. He steals money from them. He won't even allow, Kelly, they live at the hotel. Kelly's not allowed to use the pool, nothing. Mia manages the front desk after school, though, and it's there that she starts to allow herself to dream. And she realizes that she really wants to become a writer. She loves this subject in school. This is what she wants to do. And then she thinks this is what's supposed to happen, because she learns that there is a contest, this writing contest. And if she enters it and if she wins, things can totally change monetarily for both her and her parents. Now, Mia decides she's going to enter, but that's going to be easier said than done, as her parents do not want her to do this. They do not want her to even dream of being a writer because they are worried about her heartbreak, and they do everything they can to encourage her not to do this. The first in a series, this look at the immigrant experience, as well as reaching for your dreams, is one that is eye-opening. It's relatable. You'll find yourself in other people's shoes, even some of your classmates. You will want to read the follow-up books. This is the first in a series, because you'll be so invested in Mia's story. You will want to know what's going to happen next. Loved this story. This is Front Desk. Me and Marvin Gardens. So Obi is 11 years old and lives on his family's farm in Pennsylvania, but things are quickly changing. What used to be his family's land, it has been sold and it is now being turned into a housing development. Obie, though, still tries to keep the land they do have left clean. And he spends his time cleaning this creek that goes through their property. But one day while he's down at the creek, though, he comes across an animal that he has never seen before. And he soon realizes that this animal is unique, in which this animal is only eating plastic. Naming the animal Marvin Gardens, Obie decides he's going to keep him a secret. But when people in the neighborhood start to encroach even closer and they start to potentially endanger Marvin Gardens, it's going to be up to Obie to take a stand for and to do what he needs to do in order to keep Marvin Gardens safe, as well as to keep the rest of their property. This one, if you love a good stand up for what you want story, you'll love this one, Me and Marvin Gardens. Take Back the Block, one of our newest books. 11-year-old Wes finds himself in the middle of a community protest with his activist parents on his 11th birthday, which is the last thing he wants to do. He'd rather be home playing video games, figuring out what his outfits are going to be for school. Since in 5th grade, he was voted best dressed in the whole grade, and he's not into this type of stuff. Things, though, kind of start to change for him when he finds out a developer has offered to buy his whole neighborhood of Kensington Oaks. He wants to buy everything. He wants to force everyone out of their homes because he wants to turn it into this huge business development. And soon, before he knows it, the community is divided. There's two groups. There's a group who wants to sell because they want to make the money, but there's the other group that they don't want to sell. This is their property, their homes, their community. For Wes, this is the first time he's really experienced something like this. And then it hits close to home when one of his best friends, Carrie, is forced out of his house because they're renting the property, and the owner of the property decides, yeah, he's gonna sell. So before he knows it, Wes's best friend, Carrie, is out on the streets. He's homeless, no place to go. So Wes firsthand starts to realize this is a huge deal. Wes doesn't know what to do about this, though, but he knows something has to be done because the community has to be united, and he starts to want to save the home that he's only ever known, that he loves. This look at something that actually happens every day across the United States in communities. Like this stuff happens, this gentrification, that's what it's known as. Especially, and this usually happens predominantly in communities that are predominantly people of color, or they're below poverty levels. This story is an empowering story which sheds lights on these situations, how we can peaceably protest for something that we believe in, and also brings to light maybe a situation that you didn't even know was happening. This is Take Back the Block. Dress Coded. So Molly Fisher is in 8th grade, and her whole class is looking forward to the annual camping trip. But when that gets canceled due to one student, that would be Olivia, and it was canceled because Olivia was breaking the dress code for the school. She was wearing a tank top with spaghetti straps, but it was under her sweatshirt. But she had to take her sweatshirt off because she had a stain on her pants, and she wanted to hide the stain on her pants. So then she gets called out for wearing something she's not supposed to be. Molly decides that the problem was not Olivia, but the school's enforcement of this dress code policy, or how they pick and choose what and who to enforce it. Because there's other people that are breaking the dress code, but nothing's ever done to them. So Molly starts a podcast about what is going on. She calls this podcast Dress Coded, and at first things do not go so well, and she and other girls start to get bullied. But as the podcast then starts to gain more followers, not just in her community, but from other places all over the world, and girls start to share their own stories. Other girls come on the podcast, they start talking about what they've been going through. What starts as a peaceful protest grows into this movement that students and adults can no longer ignore. This is something that many females face at one time or another. This is all about taking matters into your own hands, making a difference for everyone around us. This is Dress Coded. And our last one is Madam C.J. Walker Builds a Business. Now, I will tell you, this is a fictional story based on a real person. Okay? So just keep that in mind. It reads as fiction. It is a real person, though. We meet Sarah Breedlove. Now, Sarah Breedlove, she decides she's going to take her destiny into her own hands. And Sarah's had kind of a bit of a rough upbringing. She's the first person in her family to be born post-slavery. And at 8 years old, she finds herself orphaned after her parents die. She's living with an uncle who doesn't really want her to be there. He's abusive. So at age 14, she goes ahead, she gets married, she has a baby girl. Things seem to be going okay, but then at age 20, just 6 years later, her husband unfortunately is killed in a lynch mob. So after she loses her husband, she takes her daughter, they move from the deep south to Denver, Colorado. And it's there that she starts trying to find something that's gonna help her hair. Her hair, just due to all the stress or maybe wear and tear or for whatever reasons, starts to get brittle, starts to get dry, starts to break, and it starts to fall out. She starts looking for something that's going to help this situation. And it is due to this journey, this experience, that she leads to her creating her own products, her own business, which she then calls Madam C.J. Walker's Wonderful Hair Grower. And with this business, with herself, with her motivation, she becomes the first female self-made millionaire in history. That's right, for realsies. Now, this true story is one that will inspire you to overcome anything, to make yourself and your dreams come true. Think about all the stuff that Sarah Breedlove went through. And this is still what she comes out with. Use her story as inspiration. Incredible. Like, if you love business sense, this type of stuff. There are others in this Rebel Girls series that are all, inspirational in their own ways. So make sure if maybe this story isn't maybe resonating too much, there are others in the series which are all amazing as well. This is Madam C.J. Walker Builds a Business. So these are 6 of the books that we have here that are possibilities of change. They're inspirational. Hopefully maybe they help us see something a little bit different or encourage us to make a difference in our world, in our community. So I encourage you to come on out, check out one of these, or we have other books we can certainly help you find that will inspire your possibilities of change. I hope you tune back next week. We have a whole new middle grade book spotlight, and I hope you have an amazing week.